Hello and welcome to my newest experiment, which I have called the Winter Demon Quiz. It's a 14-day quest, which is aimed at improving my daily habits to survive winter better, because it's dark, it's cold, and I am out of energy and out of sorts. What is this and how does it function? So, I have made a Notion template to track all of this, and I will put screenshots of it on the screen if you want to take a better look at it or participate yourself if you are, like me, struggling with the dark. The first part of the quest is the main quest, aka establishing a morning and nighttime routine. Point number 1 is to wake up at 9 a.m. the latest. Most of the days I am waking up earlier because of school, but trying to keep it consistent on weekends as well. Second, turn on the lights, whether it is the light or the shade behind me to get in daylight. Why? So I cannot return back to sleep. I am woken up by the little bit of light that we have. Third, the moment I get out of the bed, I need to go and make a 5-minute stretch to get my blood moving and get some sort of energy for the day. As for the night, I am aiming to go to bed at midnight at the latest. There is also the point of prepping my clothes for the next day, but it's not working as well. Second part is the battle encounter, which means the workouts, because I need to keep active in winter in order to stay mentally healthy. And so the bottom level is to do at least 10 minutes of exercise, but I can get up to 30 if I wish. And I have an actual structure of what each day requires, but I sometimes shuffle them if they need that. And the last thing is the artifact of power, and so that is aimed at the mind and mental wellness. So firstly, it's spending at least 20 minutes outside in the daylight. Second, doing something creative for at least 15 minutes. That includes art or writing. Third is to do something for the mind specifically, so that is reading or journaling. And then another part of the challenge is to take daily picture to make myself feel a little more confident and put together. And if I manage and go on at least 2 solo adventures to have fun. And so those are the rules, well, the setup. But another rule is that I want this to be habits, so it's not fully strict, meaning I aim to finish 80% of these goals every single day and not fully all of them. I don't want to burn out on this. I want this to be habits. I was not fully truthful with this because I have already started this quest last week on Saturday in November, and you can see a little bit of it in the November video. But today I have decided to make it a video of its own, and so you are going to follow me on days 8 through 14, and then however many days I manage to keep doing it as part of building it as a habit. Means I have had a test run, and I can say that I'm already feeling some of the results, but on that later. As I said, the point of this challenge is to build healthier habits so I can kind of stay functional in this not so good weather, because I have become a little bit of a mess lately. Like last week, I have been late and oversleeping on every single lecture. It was horrible. And just feeling demotivated and out of energy. And so I'm hoping that this will help me change that, improve that, and carry on through the entirety of the winter. Now, I have discussed this with a friend, and she pointed out that if I want to do a change to my lifestyle, I cannot do it via a challenge. I need to make that lifestyle change in form of daily habits. And yes, but there is part of me that has ADHD and works well with like specific goals and deadlines. I don't like the overwhelm of seeing like, oh, carry this out forever. I like endpoint even if I carry past it. And second, forming habits is very difficult for me. The moment I drop them, they're gone. So this is sort of an external motivation for me to keep through it. Another thing why challenges don't work for most people is that they expect like fast results and basically to fix everything. That's not possible. That's not how challenges work. The point of a challenge is to figure out what are your limits and push yourself on a certain path and hopefully make progress on that goal. It is not to fully meet that goal. Second, it is to kickstart the habits because you have a test run of it for a specific amount of time, and so it allows you, or well, me in this case, to see how I would function with those habits and have motivation to make those habits. And third, why I think most people fail challenges and they don't work long term is because they forget the reflection part. So after a challenge is done, you need to look at what worked, what didn't, why it worked or didn't work, and adjust based on that. So carry on with the things that worked and abandon the things that didn't, and or adjust the things that didn't so they create the actual goal that you want. So that is my ramble about this challenge or quest for now. And I invite you to join me and do this too if you feel like you might need it. I will hopefully post all the necessary information somewhere. So if you want to do it on your own time, you can. Hello and welcome to day 8, or well, the first day of this actual vlog. And I find it incredibly funny how I yesterday told my cousin that this challenge is becoming, well, it's not easy, but that the resistance to doing stuff like waking up and going to bed is going away. Not today. Not today. So yeah, everything is taking me a while today, and so now it's noon, and I am only now like done with getting myself functional and getting to do stuff. Wonderful. Anyway, so I'm going to make lunch. Then I need to do some gardening and then I can write. The other stuff for today is that I need to go on a run with the dogs. Well, after about 1 hour of writing, I have about 1,000 words written, and so now is the time to go outside for the outdoor activities. Well, hello. Now that I am back from my run, I have noticed a quite unexpected side effect of this quest, and that is I have been doing so much like exercise and workouts recently that now I don't know how to stop. Like, I've had that 15-minute stretch in the morning, and now I have been on a 2-kilometer run, which I have sprinted half the way home. And yet I have come home and realized that my brain still feels like it's not enough and that I need to like do something more. No, I don't. It's enough. It really is. Why do I have the need to push further? Anyway, this could be a good thing because it just means that I enjoy the exercise and the movement. But the problem is, I am the type of person who doesn't know how to relax, and that's not a good thing. Even when like my university semester ends, and usually the last 3 weeks are absolutely crazy with like assignments, tests, and final essays, after that is done, I come home and I just sit there staring, unable to kind of recalibrate into my normal self and do stuff just for the joy of it, because I keep expecting more. And that's like a negative example because I don't like that. But this is a little different because I enjoy the movement, but like, if only writing clicked for me in this way, that would be great. Anyway, thankfully, I have a little bit of a real life block for going to work more, because we have decided to go to Grandma's place and help her with some Christmas baking, and so I cannot throw myself to more exercise. Yay! So that is the plan for this evening. Well, hello there. Today is Sunday and technically day 9 of the quest. And today is the day when I am really struggling with everything and nothing goes as planned. The culprit can be found in last night when I returned from Grandma and at around 10 p.m. managed to eat dinner and then realized that I have so many like creative things I want to be working on, such as the book, which I actually didn't touch, or drawing, or like creating other things. And I don't know why it always happens like close to midnight, and I get this like boost of creative energy, and it's so much easier to like want to do stuff and to get lost in stuff, even though I had the entire day to do it, but somehow in the hours of the evening it just feels better. I guess it's because finally there is nobody around to basically want anything else from me, and so I can focus safely. And that kind of might be the reason why I have such horrible sleeping habits, because I tend to use all the time I can to do whatever I want uninterrupted, which is a luxury that is difficult to get during the day. But that is not good for this challenge, and so of course I did not go to sleep at the time I was supposed to. Of course, I then struggled with the waking up portion and did not wake up on time either, because I basically woke up with the wrong foot. That meant everything about my morning routine was a struggle. Then I didn't feel like getting dressed and looking presentable. And suddenly it was, what, 1 p.m. I still haven't done anything. And I had to like eat and then go to the horse. And so when I returned, I realized that it is probably the right time to sit down and spend time researching and writing notes for my project on that I have to present on Tuesday about solar energy. So I spent, what, 3 hours on that, at least. And somehow, even though I haven't done basically anything difficult today, I feel the most exhausted yet. Then I tried writing, but I got maybe 70 words before I felt like giving up. I pushed through, and then from like 115 it started flowing a little bit, but I only got to 300 before I really had to stop again because it just wasn't happening. I wanted to hit 30k in the entire manuscript today, but that's not happening. I have maybe 800 words left for that, so hopefully tomorrow. But yes, I am exhausted. It is 15 minutes until midnight, so I guess at least this time I am sticking to the bedtime and going to bed. Well, hello, it is currently Monday afternoon, and today the quest is going somewhat better. I have managed to sort of wake up on time, but this time I skipped the morning workout and dived straight into editing the November writing vlog, which is now done and sits at exactly 60 minutes, which is absolutely insane. How did that happen? But there is a problem with the rest of today, and so I am not sure what exactly to do, because my plan was to go sort of Christmas shopping, sort of buy some things I need for myself. The issue is I need 4 things, and each of them is found in a different location, and so I don't know if I can do all of that. Basically, I still have the presentation to finish, and so I cannot stay out too much because that needs to be done and learned for tomorrow. But the issue currently with the shopping is that I need 3 things: some workout equipment, some stationery, okay, 4 things, a new shampoo, and new eyeliner. Now, the problem is the workout equipment is only found in one specific store, and there are 2 of those stores in the city, and the stationery is only found in 2 malls in the city. Issue is neither of them overlaps. So, and then the other stores are not clustered in the same mall either. So I could go to the store that is near here and buy the workout equipment and drive to the other side of the city to the mall to do the rest of the shopping, but that will take too much time. Then I was thinking about, yes, going into this store and then the mall next to it and leave the stationery for another day and go to the mall that is near my school and go there after school. But that is A, 2 trips, and B, it will be difficult to find parking there after my school ends because it's usually very full. So, yeah, I don't know what to do. We will see. And I don't quite want to divide it into 2. I don't have that much free time. But I guess that is what will need to be done. I could just go to the sport equipment store now, but that is also a little bit too little to bother sitting in the car and driving. So I don't know. I need to eat lunch and go, and I will, I guess, figure out on the way what I exactly want to do. Okay, arrived to my first destination, and I cannot decide if I look more like a grandma or like a Grim Reaper. Okay, so time to go shopping. Well, hello. I am now back from the shopping. I ended up also going to the garden store for some decorations for the Christmas wreath. But since I have been home for a bit, I have finished the research and the notes for my presentation, and all that is left to do is actually put it into Canva, into the PowerPoint. But before that, I still need to walk the dogs and go outside, and before that, I need to actually exercise because if I go out just like this without any prep, I will freeze. So, time to do that. Meanwhile, this thing is taking a million takes and time to export because it keeps crashing, so hopefully now it will finish itself off. If not, that will be a problem. Well, what an interesting turn of events we have had today. So, one, my presentation. While sitting there in class, we have realized we have structured it a little bit wrong and had to redo it there in the class entirely. Thankfully, we were the last to present, so we had time and we did it, and it was a success, so that is great. Then I went to the other mall in the city that I wanted to go to the stationery store and buy some stuff for some friends and for myself. Yeah, it was closed. And so I need to go to the other mall near my school and try there. But while I was there and I was having lunch, I pulled out my iPad and decided to write a little bit. And so I got maybe 400 words written, I guess. Now the problem is I have jumped to chapter 10 ish, I guess. Like the moment the queen meets with the council for the first time after the break, and yes, it is a very intriguing scene, and it calls to me to write it. Issue 1. Chapter 5 is still only halfway done. Chapter 6 has not been touched. Chapter 7 is missing a beginning. Chapter 8 has the middle cluster and nothing else, and Chapter 9 is gone entirely. What am I doing? Why am I making this so damn messy? What the hell? So, I really need to sit down and straighten out all those things. But I don't want to, and I don't have time. And all I want to do is be indulgent and write the scenes I want to write. I guess at least I'm writing, so that's good. I'm just creating more problems for myself as I'm going, so. Because the more I keep jumping like this, the harder it will be to stitch it back together and keep like a through line with it. So, yes, that will need to be solved. But not today because I have a test to study for. So I should start on that. The test is in 2 days and I'm only now starting to take notes and study, so you can probably imagine how that is going to go. Whoever thinks I am a responsible student, I have good grades, but I'm not responsible. Did we find a new filming angle? I guess so. I sort of like this one, so here we go. So, hello. Today is Friday, so the last day of this quest, but because I have sort of fell off on the last 2 or so days because of the test that has completely dysregulated me, I have decided to carry this on for a few more days. As for the writing, yesterday after the test I managed to go to the bookstore and the cafe there and write there for about an hour, then go get lunch, and somehow I was inspired to write some more. So I got 2 hours of writing done then, and so I have progressed on the chapter 10 scene. First, I have written the scene where Aurora confronts the council itself. That was really fun, but as my friends have pointed out, all this cozy atmosphere of sitting in the cafe and Christmas stuff around And here I am writing about my main character being beaten and bullied by the political elites. And then I have decided to jump to the scene before that when Aurora arrives to the council and meets with some of the people. So that was interesting. That one is still not finished. So yeah, writing not linearly continues. Not the greatest thing, but making it work. And somehow then when I got home and I plugged this scene back into Scrivener, I have decided that I am now inspired to jump into Peter's point of view, but not book one as I have been writing until now. I jumped to book four and decided to write the scene where he basically returns home and has to confront his father once again. That scene has what, thousand and something words, and it's like really good. I love how it turned out and how like the emotional arc progresses and the whole symbolism of it. So very happy with that. But what am I doing? Why can I not write properly in order? Like, yes, I have written 2,500 words yesterday without even blinking. That's a lot. But I should really get myself disciplined, really. Because at this point, it's starting to be a little difficult to keep track of everything that I have set up because there are like scenes missing everywhere. And so the continuity is just escaping me in some places. And so it's getting too confusing and too many things to keep track of. So I really need to sit down and finish chapter 5. I really need to do that. I don't know why it's such a problem. Like, it's been a month since I started writing chapter 5. And meanwhile, I have jumped through 5 other chapters and not finished any of them. I have written like 4,000 words already this month, so that's great. Or even 5. But nothing gets finished. I don't know what's going on with me, but I guess that's how it is. Either way, other than writing, I have been doing a lot of stuff with setting up my journal for next year. So that is fun. Like, these illustrations are, well, borders are new. That wasn't on the journal itself, but decided to have a little bit of a fun with it and make it in the Art Deco style. That should be the update for now. The test has been survived. It didn't go as well as I would have hoped, but that's for later. And now all my other essays are due in January, so I have writing time. Well, hello and welcome to the Sunday update. So, on Friday, I did not manage to write as much as I wanted to, but then I actually did continue the scene I told I would not touch. So there is that. But yesterday, on Saturday, I was very good about following through with my promises. And so I got back to chapter 5. And after a full month, I have finished it. So that is really good. Actually, it was easier to finish than I expected. I just dove into like a new scene in there and it just flowed to the end. And so that means I have one less problem to deal with. The chapter lineup is still absolutely crazy because, yes, now chapter 5 is finished and the first 5 chapters are done, but chapter 6 has been still untouched. Chapter 7 has missing beginning and probably also the end. Chapter 8 has like just the stuff in the middle and nothing else. chapter 9 untouched, and then chapter 10 is quite long but still missing like in between scenes. So that is better than when the chapter 5 was not there, but it's still a big mess and I need to like straighten it out. And like I was even thinking like if chapter 5 and 6 are giving me such trouble, like why do I even need them? Why do I insist on writing them? The reason is it's not that they are boring. They are very important and not boring at all, but they are not what I am kind of interested in writing right now because I am more into like the on the page politics, not the machinations in the background. And so that makes chapters 5 and 6 a little bit difficult to write, but that doesn't mean they are not necessary because if I don't show what is happening in chapters 5 and 6, then what happens in chapters 7 through 10 doesn't have an impact. Because if you just jump into chapter 10 with Aurora confronting the council about the state the country is in and like trying to take over, and you don't have the background, then it's just like, okay, too vague, too abstract, oh, there are problems, whatever. But if you go through chapters 5 and 6 with her and experience with her the actual issues that there are, you see how the people are struggling, how they don't have anything to eat, how there are bandits, how there are millions of problems and the guards are doing nothing, the lords are just doing their own thing and not caring. Then you see her rage at what is going on and you understand what she's doing in chapter 10 with confronting the council, and you are even more enraged with her when what she's trying to do gets basically blocked. So that's why chapters 5 and 6 are important and need to stay there. But that doesn't make them any easier to write because, yes, the confrontation with the council is the scene I am more excited to write. But that is it for today. Not for today, for that update. Today I am first going to work and then we are going to theater with mother, so I will probably get to writing only in the evening and we will see how much. But I am hopefully going to touch up on chapter 6 from now on. So that's it for now. In hindsight, I realize how stupid it was to say that I would continue with the quest for as long as I could, because as long as I could ended up being maybe one day. No continuation. I still count it a success because I have finished the quest itself, nothing more. Then it fell apart. It's partly the fault of the holidays and like this season because I've had a lot of relatives staying around, and so the first thing that went out the window was the sleep aspect of the challenge of going to bed at midnight and waking up before 9. That's just not what happened at all, any day. I ended up going to bed at like 3:30 several times over the past 2 weeks. I have not woken up before 9 as long as I can remember. And I don't find that a bad thing. Actually, the waking up thing was more for school season, and now we have winter break until the end of February, so why bother? I can live on my own sleep schedule as I wish, so no need to stress about that. I guess the sunlight part is still relevant, but never mind. Actually, I have somewhat kept up with the other aspects, such as spending time outside, working out regularly, and just like keeping up with movement. The morning workout, not so much, but there has been no days when I have done absolutely nothing. And I have spent a lot of time like journaling and reading and delving into more mind-focused activities. So that stayed. So some of the habits kind of stuck. The sleep one, No, not at all. I did not expect it, but there was a hope. As for the challenge itself, during the happening of it, I guess it did do what it was supposed to do, and yes, I was a little more energized and capable of doing things in the hectic schedule that was university and keeping up with everything else. The stupid weather with the fog lasted like 4 weeks, the entirety of December. Now is the last week of December, and now we finally have for like 4 days clear sky and sun. So that in itself is an energy boost. As for writing, during those 2 weeks, I did not write exactly every single day, but most days, and I ended up at about 8,000 words, which is nice. So there was progress in there. Honestly, that draft 2 is treating me rather well. I have now finished chapter 5, and so that is moving rather well. So that is it for this quest. I will try something like this in the future for sure. It did have the intended effect, so I do recommend for people to try it if they are struggling with energy. Maybe make it longer because 2 weeks are not enough to develop proper habits, especially when it comes to sleep schedule. I really need to do something about that at some point, but now is not the point. So, yes, that is all from me, and enjoy. One last thing, maybe if you have some tips about how to keep a sleep routine that is not fully unhinged, then throw them my way. But I am kind of done being stressed and pressured about the fact that I just keep staying awake deep into the night and waking up at times that other people do not consider morning. They are mornings for me. And for the next 2 months, I do not have any morning obligations, so why bother?